back in Microsoft Flight Simulator on the VATSIM network. We're operating as TWA Boeing 727, and we have found the flight plan as TWA Flight 366. We're gonna fly over to Santa Maarten in the Caribbean. So let's get this started. Okay, so we'll get these batteries on. Okay, let's turn on the APU. Okay, start the APU. Okay, APU is on. We'll turn on the pags, turn on the Gasper fan, put that to try one. Okay, we'll get the left fuel pumps, get the forward fuel pumps on. Turn on the navigation lights. There you go. Okay, APU is all activated. Okay, so in our last 727 video, we flew using the GNS XLS, which is this flight computer here, but tonight we're flying with Siva INS, which is the original navigation equipment that this plane came with when it rolled out of the factory. Why is that not showing? Okay, that's really weird. Okay, so first we need to get our position. We need to get the coordinates. We're here in Havana, Cuba. So let me get the coordinates for that. Should be in my flight plan. Let's pull up SimBrief. Okay, Havana is north. 2259. 2259.4, and it is west 8224. 8224.6. There you go. Okay, so this number will start counting down as it's getting our position. It's gonna start counting down to 5 or 0. So this probably could take like about 15 minutes or so. Okay, let's see that number go down. No, it's not going down. It should be going down now, so I don't know what's going on. So there is a cheat where you press that green button. And it's ready, but I don't know what's happening. I really don't know what's going on. Okay, it's not going down. It should be at 75 by now, so we're just gonna cheat right there. Okay, so now it's ready. So let's see how much fuel we got. So this flight will be 2.5 hours, and we do not have enough fuel for 2.5 hours. We're gonna go ahead and get the fuel truck. Port the flight plan. Okay, we'll start fueling up. Watch the needles go. Okay, the needles are rolling there. Turn on the hydraulic bead pump. Okay. Okay, we're gonna open the rear air stair. We're gonna open the rear air stair from the back. So the rear air stair is right over there. Okay, here's the air stairs. So these rear air stairs, they're usually used. Nowadays, the passenger 727 is retired globally now. I believe it's retired globally, but some airlines, they still use it for cargo purposes. What the hell is that? So I don't know why this is pixelated, but it's because of my GPU. I'm using the AMD Radeon RX 590. It's not a very strong GPU. It's strong enough to run Microsoft Flight Sim, but I already ordered the new RTX 3060. So a huge upgrade. Alright, we'll open the air stairs. There you go. Looking good. Yeah, so back in the day, before, like back in the 60s, so they did not have the hydraulic pumps were not needed to open the air stairs. Or actually, I'm not sure if they, oh yeah, they were. Oh my god, what am I thinking? So now the air stairs, they have a lock on there, so you cannot open the rear air stair when you're airborne, because after DB Cooper jumped out the plane using the rear air stair, he could just open it and he jumped out. But now you cannot, because Boeing, they took back their 727s and they put a lock on there. They're calling it the Cooper lock, named after DB Cooper. Okay, the air stair is open. It's open. Okay, just stall test. Yeah, so if you're stalling, there's a stick shaker on the yoke, and it's going to start shaking the yoke, letting you know that you're about to fall out of the sky. Okay, flight data recorder test, that's good. Turn on the seatbelt signs. Okay, let's get the window heat on. Okay, window heat is all on. Alright, let's check the fuel dump panel. Okay, fuel dump panel, that's good. So the circuit breaker does not work, so... Okay, so I just got this Boeing, the passenger 727. I do have the cargo 727 by Flight Sim Studios. I love that plane very much. So Flight Sim Studios, thank you so much. You did a wonderful job with these planes. Turn on the galley power. That should be to normal. That shouldn't be a cutoff. That should be to normal. Cabin temperature. Let's set that to auto. Okay, let's check our fuel. Okay, we got about 6 minutes until we are all fueled up. Let's test the overspeed one. Alright, we can begin putting in our waypoints. So we'll set this to waypoint. Set this to number 1. So this computer can hold only 9 waypoints at a time. And bear in mind, this is not a GPS. This is just a carousel. This is just gyroscopes navigation. Okay, we're going to request our clearance momentarily. We will request our clearance from Havana Control. So we're going to connect to them. Oh yeah, we're already connected to that sim. Okay, looking good. so we're gonna connect to that soon. Oh, wait, okay, we're gonna be TWA 366. Okay, we are officially connected. We're gonna turn on the radios and I'm gonna request our clearance from Havana Center. So let's turn on the radio masters. And if you're wondering what this thing is, just a jetway. Okay, let's turn on the radio. Okay, and we will call Havana Center. Okay, Havana Center is online. He will be on 12455. Okay, but actually first we're going to listen to the ATIS of Havana, which will be on 132.5.
Jose Marti International Information November 2150 Zulu, runway in USO 6, wind 320 degrees 7 knots, visibility 9 kilometers, sky condition. View at 3000, temperature 2.18, QNH 1016. Transition level 40, ILS approach runway 06. Advise on initial contact, you have information November.
Alright, we've got November. Alright, so the wind, wait.
Jose Marti International
listen to the wind again.
Information November 2150 Zulu, runway in USO 6, wind 320 degrees 7 knots, visibility 9 kilometers, sky condition. View at 3000, temperature 2.18, QNH 1016. Transition level 40, ILS approach runway 06. Advise on initial contact, you have information November.
Okay, wind is 320 at 7, so that means it's coming from the northwest, so we are gonna have a tail. I think we're gonna have a tailwind. Let me see the compass. So here is 360. So here's 360, that's directly north. So 320 should be right here. Okay, so we got a tailwind coming directly, kind of slightly northwest. Yeah, kind of northwest. It's almost coming directly west, almost, but oh wait. Oh damn, I'm stupid. That's southwest. Damn. So that's slightly southwest. This is southwest, this is directly west. Okay, I got it. Oh my god, I'm reading this so wrong. Okay, I'm getting confused here. Okay, 0, that's 360, that's directly north. Directly north, so 330. Okay, that is northwest. Okay, it's coming in from about the northwest. It's coming in from the northwest. Okay, so we can go ahead and request our clearance. Okay, we're at gate 3 Alpha 8, and we're gonna get a clearance to St. Maarten. So if you don't know where St. Maarten is, you've probably seen all those videos of planes landing very close to people on the beach. That's that airport in the Caribbean.
Secretary 8173, contact Miami Center 132.2. Miami 160 to sound to that is my already 170.
Okay,
Oh.
okay, so our departure will be the Cavu 5 Alpha. Okay. Havana Center, this is TWA 366, gate 3 Alpha 8 B722 IFR to St. Martin with November.
TWA 366, good evening. You are clear to St. Martin via flight plan route. Runway 06, Kabul 6 Alpha departure, Aprix transition, flight level 330, squawk 3470.
TWA 366, cleared to St. Martin, flight plan route, runway 06, Cavu 6 Alpha departure, Aprix transition, flight level 330, will be squawking 3470.
TWA 366 rebar is correct. Push and start at discretion, call for taxi.
Roger, push and start at my discretion, we will call you back later. Alrighty, we have officially gotten our permission slip to go to St. Martin. Yay! Yay! Alrighty. Alright, let's start putting in our route, but let me check, is fueling completed? Yes, we can start boarding.
And Havana Center, region 9, just wanted to confirm it's takeoff at our own discretion, confirm?
Affirm.
Okay.
Alright, let's get the flight plan in. Alright, so this can only hold 9 waypoints at a time, so we got a while until we have to update it. Alright, first waypoint is Caval. Nope, I don't want you to attach the tug. Alright, Caval is north 2303.
Havana Center, buenas tardes, Avianca 511 ascendiendo, nivel de vuelo 350 para 370 cruce.
West
Avianca 511, muy buenas tardes. Continúe para 370.
8224, West 8224.
Continuamos 370, Avianca 511.
8224.6. Okay, so waypoint 2 is called Aprix, which will be north 2141. Oops. 2141.0 and west 7950.9er. Okay, waypoint 3 is Ukula, which will be north 2109.3. That will be west 7837. 7837.5.
British 899 radar contact by flight level 380.
Flight level 380, British 899.
Alright, looks like boarding is completed. Had to do something, okay. Okay, we're doing waypoint 4. What was waypoint 3? $21,093. Okay, that's Yukulo. Okay, now we're doing Putin, which will be north 2042.3. That'll be west 7732.0. Number 5 will be UCU, which will be north 1958.7. That will be west 7549.4. Okay, next waypoint will be Gubob, which will be north 1927.7. West 7502.9. Number 6 will be Depsy, which is north 1902.0. West 7424. 7424.8. Okay, number 8 will be Avabi, which is north 1855.5, which is west 7355.5. Number 9 will be Levis, which will be north 1842.4. West 7257, 7257.1. Okay, we're done with the first part. Okay, let's check if it has the right heading. 53.5. No, we're heading 060. It's okay. set that to nav. Okay, climb to flight level 330. Okay, the yaw dampers, we'll check those. Let's test the ground proximity warning. Alright, that is checked. Takeoff performance, 129. Okay, 129, we'll set those. Okay. Okay, our speed during the initial climb will be 210
American
knots.
172, descend flight level. American 172, disregard.
Let's check the engineer panel. Okay, we're gonna go to the back. We're gonna close the aft stairs. I know that in the cargo variant, Flight Sim Studios didn't model the lavatory, so I'm wondering if they modeled it here. So I'm gonna check that. First, I'm gonna close the aft stairs. Okay, aft stairs are closing. That's good. Oh, they modeled it. There's a flush. Oh, you can even close the toilet lid. Oh. And we have a purple mirror. Anything else that works here? Huh, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. You know what? The cabin of today, they look so much more nicer than today's cabins. The seats look more comfy. I mean, this is all economy class. These seats look so much more comfortable than the economy class seats today. They look so much more comfortable. Let's go ahead and close the forward door. Alright, we'll go ahead and close the windows, close the cargo doors. Okay, we'll disconnect the jetway.
American 172, contact Navy at center 128 decimal
Okay,
3.
we're good.
Hold on.
Alright, fuel pumps are on. Packs are on. Okay, we'll begin our pushback sequence.
Havana 502, you're about to leave my airspace. Service terminated, monitor advisory.
Okay, let me check the course. I'm gonna look at the course.
Hold on.
Okay, 059 is our course. Okay, we will put that there, set the heading. Okay, so that's 110.5, okay.
Yeah, there are two, so one Havana center is
Okay, trim is set. Airspeed is checked. The EPR is set. Alternate flaps are off.
Hold on. Avianca 511, Havana Centro cerrando por el momento, cambio de frecuencia aprobado, buenas tardes.
Okay, okay. Good. Let's turn on the beacon lights. Okay, take check out the chunks. Okay, it looks like Havana Center is now closed. We can go ahead and monitor Unicom, which is on 122.8. Okay, we will calibrate that. Okay, so it's about like 25 degrees Celsius, so that's a good temperature. It's a pretty good temperature. Okay, so ATC all the way from the Cuba to the Dominican Republic is all closed, but once we enter the airspace for Puerto Rico, we'll have ATC coverage until we land in San Maarten. All right, let's see. Is there a marker over there? Yes, there is. Once we're clear of that red line, once the nose is clear of that red line, we'll begin starting the engines. So, nose right, tail left. Alright, we're gonna turn off the packs, and we're gonna begin starting the engines. Engine 3 start. Squawk 3470. There you go. Put that on TWA. Alright, engine 3 is all started. We're gonna turn on, we're gonna start engine 1. And engine 2 start. Let's turn on the background lights. Okay, we'll turn on the continuous ignition. Tell him to disconnect.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can
Okay, we'll
disconnect.
activate the engine generators. Come on, there you go. Okay, we'll turn off the APU. Turn on the hydraulic A pumps. Turn on the fuel pumps. Oh, this is all the electric B pumps. So we're turning on the first electric. Oh my god, what am I saying? The hydraulic B pump. Oh my god. Okay, we'll lower this because San Martin, it's right on the coast, so it's not very high. Roger, thank you. Flaps 15. Okay, controls are checked. Trim is set. Flaps are set. Okay, we'll turn on anti-skid. We'll put the auto brakes to RTO. Alright, after start checks. Sorry. Oh god, what am I doing? Okay, where's after start? After start, where are you? Okay, start lever is idle, beacon light is on, engine anti-ice is off. Electrical power check, boost pumps are all on, hydraulic beam pumps are all on. The hydraulic pressure is checked, warning lights are all out. Alright, the text checks, flaps 15. Takeoff is 129 knots. Step trim is set, probe heat is on, flight control is checked, scat is checked, yaw damper is on. Air conditioning checked and set, galley power will come off. Galley power will come off. Auto pack trip is normal. Alright, text checks complete. Alright, we'll go ahead and begin taxiing to runway 06. Okay, we'll turn on our taxi light. Turn on the logo light. Okay, we gotta maintain at least 10 knots on these sharp turns. Okay, we're gonna turn right on Alpha. Alright, so now we're on a straight taxiway, so we can go up to 30 knots. So now we're going 15 knots, so we're gonna go up to 30 knots. Oh god, what am I doing? Okay, there we go. So we're just gonna do a high-speed taxi. We cannot exceed 30 knots because, believe it or not, there are speed limits in aviation. Taxing southwest style. Okay, we're going above 30 knots. Let's slow down. Cabin crew, prepare for takeoff. Okay, we're approaching a sharp turn, so we're just gonna start slowing down to 10 knots. Okay, there's 10 knots, we're gonna a sharp turn. Okay, we're gonna hold short of the runway, gonna check the radar and make sure there is no traffic so we can line up on the runway. Alright, the runway's all mine. Go ahead and take off. Havana traffic, TWA 366 departing runway 6, Kolu 6 Alpha departure. It's Havana traffic. Okay. Lining up runway 6. Okay, we're not gonna take off, we're gonna line up on the runway. Okay, before takeoff checks, cabin alert checked, ignition on, anti-skid checked. We'll continue the checklist once we're on the runway. What the hell? Alright, strobe lights are on. Strobe lights on, transponder on, APU off, boost pumps, cross valves all on, oil cooler checked. Alright, before takeoff just complete. Okay, we're good. Havana traffic, TWA 366 departing runway 6. Alrighty. Alright, y'all ready? Take off. Forward, check time, setting takeoff thrust. Thrust set. Airspeed's 5.
80 knots.
Check, back pressure released. There's 120 knots.
V1, rotate.
Rotate.
Positive rate.
Gear up. it's a little bit hazy in Havana right now. Okay, we can turn on the autopilot. What are you doing? Stop it. What's coming up? Okay, should have been turning left. I don't know what's going on. It's urgent. Okay, there you go. Turn now. Okay, flaps are coming up. Alright, looking good. That was a beautiful takeoff. I don't know why I turned left. We were supposed to turn right. I mean, I mastered the Civa INS, so you're supposed to put it to auxiliary nav. So I have no idea what's going on. Alrighty, looking good. Okay, we should be going direct to Kobe. Alright, we are on course now. Okay, we'll speed up to 250 knots. Alright, so once we're out of 10,000 feet, we're gonna speed up to 280 knots. We will turn off the landing lights and turn off we're gonna set the auto pack track to cut off. Okay, let's turn on the lights here, it's gonna get dark. There you go. It's a beautiful sunset right there. I don't know if I should start flying from the co-pilot's side, because when you apply for an airline pilot, like on your first day, you do start as a first officer, so you do fly from the right side, but I'm usually used to flying on the left side of the captain's seat. Okay, we're about 149 miles from Aprik, so we're gonna reach there in like 30 minutes. So we're gonna cross Aprik in 30 minutes. Okay, we're about to leave 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and start speeding up. Turn off the landing lights. Let the flight attendants know that it's safe to get up. Start their in-flight meal service. Okay, let's set the auto pack trip to cut off, cut out, or cut off. Nah, I'm not gonna turn that on. Okay, cabin altitude 4,800 feet. That's good. Flight. Good. Looking good over here. Good over here. Good down here. APU's off. Yep, we are good. Okay, we're going to reset the altimeters. Alright guys, let me give you a bit of context on this aircraft. So this is the Boeing 727-200 passenger version. And passenger version, they began their service in the, I believe, the early 1960s. So this is an extremely iconic jet. So this plane entered service in 1964, so about 62 years ago. And they started with Eastern Airlines, and this is a very iconic plane, and it could fly more than a little more halfway across the United States. It's not able to fly halfway. It's not able to fly across the United States. But there are more advanced versions that have more advanced fuel tanks that can do it. And this plane has been known to fly transatlantic. Well, not directly, but TWA and Pan Am, they did have some service over in Europe with their Boeing 727s. And this is my second favorite plane. My first favorite is the Boeing 707. My favorite is the Boeing 707. I love that plane. Yeah, so at Flight Sim Studios, you guys did a wonderful job making this plane. It's amazing. The graphics are pretty good, and the physics feel very good. I love it. I'm actually wondering if Flight Sim Studios will make a Boeing 707, because if they would, that would be amazing. Because the 707 is doing pretty good now, so 707 might be a good idea. That is one beautiful sunset. Yeah, so right now, for some reason, some of the labels in this plane, they're so glitchy. Like, I used to play the simulator on, unfortunately, an Asus X515 laptop. And it handled surprisingly decent. And the labels were never this pixelated because it had a Intel graphics card. But I'm using the AMD Radeon RX 590, which is not that strong. Oh, can turn that off. Which is not that strong, but I just ordered the NVIDIA GeForce RX 3060, which is a major upgrade, and it does have NVIDIA DLSS, which is a frame generation, which can double your FPS, which is something I'm very excited for. And my current graphic card, it is Direct 12.0, so it cannot support Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. But with my previous PC, the X515, it did have 12.1 because it had a Intel graphics card, so it did work, but with very bad FPS. So with the 3060, it's gonna work perfectly with a significant upgrade with FPS. So I'm very excited for that. Yes, and I also can't fly high fidelity planes in the United States because in the US in Microsoft Flight Sim it uses photogrammetry. It uses continuous photogrammetry and it uses Bing imaging, so that really drains my FPS. But in Europe it doesn't use Bing imaging. So my FPS is better. So I just usually, when I fly the 727, I usually fly outside of the US and in South America or Europe or in the Caribbean. But I always fly the PMDG 737 in the US because it's more optimized. But considering that this plane is not as optimized as the PMDG, my FPS is is actually doing pretty good. My FPS is doing pretty good, so yeah, so that's a huge plus for me. Okay, I want to go explore the cabin a little bit. Okay, so right here is first class. So this actually looks amazing. Look at these seats. These seats are amazing. Look at these. I mean, this is actually how they looked like back then. That's amazing. So, I mean, the first class now they look better. You can lie flat. So, okay. But the economy class seats. They look more comfortable. They do look more comfortable than the economy class seats today. But now with the manufacturers that make the seats, they want to make the seat as light as possible because you don't want heavy seats because you're putting like 300 heavy seats, like 300, 200, like about 300 seats that weigh 200 pounds each. That's just gonna weigh down the planes. That's gonna make a huge safety concern, especially when you're bringing around a lot of passengers. So the plane probably won't be fit to take off. So believe it or not, so all these Boeing planes went from the Boeing 727 to the Boeing 737. They are all developed from the Boeing 707. I mean, it's actually the exact same fuselage, just stretched. And look at the nose of this plane. It looks exactly the same to a Boeing 737. So it's just that the 737 is just a shortened version with smaller wings. Yeah, so. And the 707, it's like, so the 707 is like it's like the grandfather of the Boeing 737. And the 707, like right now, these engines, these are the JT, these are the, what engines are these? I forgot the name of those engines. So these engines are Pratt & Whitney JT8D, the low bypass turbine. And these engines are extremely loud, and these engines, they are not earth friendly. They emit a lot of carbon dioxide. These engines emit a lot of carbon dioxide. As you can see, they make a lot of smoke, and they are extremely loud. That's why a lot of airports banned the 727 due to noise restrictions. And it's also the reason. And these are also the same reasons why they banned the 707, because environmental reasons, and noise reasons, all of that. Yes. Yeah, I mean, to me it's kind of sad, because, you know, I don't like seeing these legends go away. Damn, it's pitch black outside. Alright, 1000 to go. We're about to reach our cruising altitude. We can go up top and turn off the seatbelt signs. Back then, the seatbelt signs, they were just written in English, like no smoking, fasten seatbelt. But right now, they're in, like more of in, like with pictures, like just a cigarette with a sign, with a cross sign on it, and just a picture with a seatbelt and an arrow, just so people who don't speak English just understand it. But back then they made it like this. Exit. Huh. Back then, with the 707 to 727, they put the fire extinguisher switches, the engine extinguisher switches on the dash. And they put the autopilot right here, right above the radios. But when the 737 came out, when the 737 started, they still had them right here with one of the first planes that rolled out of the factory. They kept the autopilot here, but with newer generations coming, with the 200, the 300, they removed this from the dash, and they swapped it down here. And they put the autopilot on the dash, so they just swapped places. So I guess it's to make it more easier to access, instead of you know, looking all the way down just to activate the autopilot. So yeah. So tonight we're going to land on runway 10 at Juliana Airport. So right in front of the runway it's the beach, and then it's just the ocean. So we're landing in pitch black night, so it's just nothing but pitch black and the runway lights. And we're gonna be flying over the water, so the water's gonna give the illusion of a black hole effect, which is gonna make it very risky. And usually airliners never land. Usually the airlines, they don't really land their planes in at nighttime, so I'm guessing because Prince Juliana Airport has a curfew. Yes, some airports have a curfew. Most airports have a curfew time, I believe. Most of them have. I don't know. I do know some of them have curfew, like Frankfurt Airport. They do have an 11 o'clock p.m. curfew time. So, and this is an older plane. This is a much older plane, so it's gonna make it more risky, because the 727, it has a high sink rate when you're not managing the power correctly. And the Juliana Airport, it does not have an ILS, so that it doesn't. So you're never gonna make a precision approach in Juliana Airport, but we can intercept a glide path. So we can intercept a glide path, which is kind of similar to an ILS. It just gives us vertical guidance, and we can also use the PAPI lights, which are just lights on the side of the runways. If you don't know what PAPI lights are, look it up. Okay, we got about, oh my god, we got about like an hour, like a couple of hours before we make it to St. Maarten. Okay, we're making our turn to our next waypoint. We're going to waypoint 3, which will be in 63 miles. Okay, I updated the new waypoints because when it says from 4 to 5, that means waypoint 4 is now empty because you passed it already, so you can now add your next waypoint. It's a beautiful moon over there. Love that. I have played Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 before, but it was on a laptop. It had like an Intel graphics card, so I didn't have the system to like enjoy the graphics, as I should. But with the 3060, I will. Turn this off. There you go. Okay, how much fuel we got left? Alright, we got plenty of fuel. Yes, we got about like more than very close to 9,000 pounds of fuel. Well, on the right side we got 9,000 pounds, and over here we got another 9,000, so that's like 27,000. That's 27,000. This is 6, 7, 8, 27,000. That's 34,000 pounds of fuel. Yeah, so right now we have about a little bit less than 34,000 pounds, but we're gonna round it up to 34,000. Okay, so we're just leaving Cuban airspace, and we're just gonna cross this this gulf, and we're gonna enter Haiti, and then we're gonna go into Dominican Republic. So we got about an hour and a half before we can land. Okay, we're turning towards waypoint 6. So when we get to waypoint 8, when we get to about waypoint 8, we're gonna we'll probably go to when we get to waypoint 9, we're gonna start updating it more. I love that green, it's pretty cool. The graphics in Microsoft Flight Sim are pretty cool. I love them. Again, I can imagine what they're gonna be like in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. before, and I'm especially excited to fly the Builds A330, because that's like a pretty iconic plane, especially for its tilted landing gear. So I'm pretty excited to fly that one. Builds, they make amazing planes. Builds, and they recently just dropped their Builds A340. And even though it's pretty expensive for me, I don't think I'll fly that thing anytime soon. But right now, I always fly the 727. I primarily fly Boeing planes because I like flying with the yoke, and it makes me feel more in control. And once in a blue moon, I'll fly an Airbus with the side stick. But you know, I did forget what it's like to fly with the side stick. So. Man, I am digging this TWA livery. I love that red stripe around it. There was a movie, it's called Airplane, with an exclamation mark at the end. It was made in 1980, and they had the exact same livery. They just named the airline different, and they took away the W in TWA, and they just called it Trans-American. At that time, probably that name meant something else, but that name does sound weird right now. That name for an airline does sound pretty weird now. But for TWA just stands for Trans World Airways, Trans World Airlines. They were mostly famous for flying their 707s, 727s, and especially the 747. Because the 747 back in the 70s, it was a very big deal back then, because they had a double-decker. It was an ultra long haul. So those airlines, they did pretty good, and those were the golden years of aviation. Okay, we're going. Okay, we are going to from waypoint 6 to 7. Oh my god. Please don't spam that number in the chat. Please don't do it. Because if the number 67 is spamming in the chat, I'm just gonna end the stream. Okay, so our current ground speed is about 468 knots, and our airspeed is 280 knots. So for the ground speed, we're going 468 knots. Okay, so just yesterday I requested a free copy of the. I requested like a partnership with Flight Sim Studios, you know, to get a free copy of the Super 727 expansion pack, you know, for a review to make it on a live stream. And to my understanding is that the new expansion package just comes with new technology. It will come with a new PFD instead of steam gauges. It will still have some steam gauges. It will just have some screens now, and it will have a more modernized transponder, new engines, which is something I'm very excited for. The new engines and the target reversers. I am very excited for those. So oh my god, not 707. Thinking of my favorite plane now. So the Flight Sim Studios Boeing 727, it is exceedingly good. It is amazing. It is actually my favorite add-on plane, and my second favorite is the PMDG 737. PMDG 737. It's very good. They've actually been making planes for more than for 20 years now, for like a couple of decades. So they know what they're doing, and Flight Sim Studios has been around. It's a more younger group of developers, and they make these planes very good. So I'm very happy with this plane and the freighter plane. They are very good, and I love the JT8D engines that Flight Sim Studios made. Sounds very realistic. I love it. I noticed that in some videos of other YouTubers flying 727, like A330 driver and V1 simulations, when they start the engines, this pressure ratio needle, it goes up to 1.2, even though their throttles are at idle. But when I put my throttles at idle, it just goes to 1.0. So I don't know how that goes. Maybe because so I'm guessing because they have their anti-ice on, because that can increase the pressure ratio a little bit more. Okay, we can start updating our waypoints more. So I currently put waypoint 4, which is 1826.0, which is CT, which is CDO. So we're gonna go to Antex. which will be north 1828, which will be 1828.8, and that will be west 6800.0. Our next waypoint is Gouda. So at Gouda, we will have to descend to 2,600 feet. We're currently at 33,000. So it's so we're gonna descend. So we're gonna descend a lot, and then we're gonna go to the approach fix, which is at Gouda, and then we're gonna intercept the glide path for runway 10. So Gouda will be at north 1756.0, west 6340.0. Okay, number 7 will be north. So the next waypoint is Elora, which will be north 1759.5. And it will be west 6327.9. And next is Ulba, which will be north 1800, 1800.9, then west 6317.5. And then our last waypoint is PJM, which will be north 1802.3, west 6307.1. And then I'm gonna make the number 1 the coordinates for Juliana Airport. Okay, so we're about 608 nautical miles from our 7th waypoint. 600? 600? Really? Doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. Let me see. What did I put? Wait a minute. Okay, number 1 will be, let me check number 1. One is wait a minute. Okay, so we'll go from 7 to 5. So now we're going direct to the waypoint Antex. So we're going direct to Antex, and then it's just gonna go up to waypoint 9, which will be. That's a beautiful moon right there. Okay, we are now entering the Haiti airspace. So Haiti is a pretty small country, so then probably in a few minutes we're just gonna go straight into Dominican Republic. And then after Dominican, probably it goes into Puerto Rico. We've been in the air for about 1 hour and 15 minutes. Okay, so right now the flights in the Caribbean, they just started resuming after the capture of Maduro. So they just started again. So now flights can now start going back to the Caribbean. So that's good. Check the landing room. Oops. Let me see. Okay, so I'm gonna check the weather over at Juliana Airport. See this. Okay, so Juliana Airport is Saint Maarten is an island in the Caribbean, but it is a territory of the Netherlands, so it's a Dutch territory. So we're gonna land in Prince Juliana Airport. So technically, we're actually flying to the Netherlands. We're flying to a Dutch territory. Okay, so the wind is coming from the southwest, and it's going 8 knots. So it's coming in from the southwest, blowing north, and it's blowing to the northeast, going 8 knots. So let me see. Okay, so it's blowing about this way. So we're gonna have a crosswind coming in from the right. Okay. There's another plane right there. It's another plane right there, so let me see, who is that guy? What kind of plane is he? Who is that? Okay, he is not on the VATSIM network. He is just AI traffic or just a multiplayer. Alright, we got 1 more hour until we land in Saint Maarten. Alright, we're going to... Okay, we're still on waypoint 5. We're like 100. We're like 100 miles from Antex. Okay, let me see. So we're like 100 miles from Antex, and then we're gonna have another 400 miles until Gouda, which is when we start our descent to 2,600 feet. Okay. Okay, we're about to, in a few minutes, we're going to leave the Dominican Republic airspace. Then we're going to, and then we're going to cross the ocean again. Then we're going to enter Puerto Rico. We've been in the air for about an hour and 40 minutes. there is Puerto Rico. It's about 50, 60 miles from intense. Okay, we just left, so we're just about to leave, I already got plenty of fuel. Got enough fuel to make it to Santa Maarten. Alright, so I'm gonna have to start setting the course for our arrival into Santa Maarten. So, cover Santa Maarten is Tango November Charlie. Okay, we're gonna the VOR. I'm gonna take the VOR runway 1. So that frequency is on 113.0. 96. So we 96 by set the heading lug. There we go. And the minimums will be, let's see. Okay, so our minimums will be 800 feet. So if it is, if we have bad visibility and we do not see the runway, we reach the minimum, we have to initiate a go around. There's 800 feet. Those, the minimums are set. So once we reach, when we reach 700 feet, we're gonna disengage the autopilot on our final approach, and then we're just gonna hand fly it down to the runway. Just gonna hand fly it down. Okay, now we're going to Gouda, which is 245 nautical miles. So we'll probably begin our descent at about 170 nautical miles. Okay, we will be landing in San Maarten in about 30 minutes. Okay, so we're gonna do a visual approach into runway 10. So keep in mind, so we're gonna land at night. So we're gonna be flying over the ocean. And we're gonna be flying very slow. So it's gonna be very risky. And usually the airlines they don't land here at night. So this could be quite a bit of a challenge. Do like a good challenge. So when we land above water at night, it always gives the illusion of a black hole. It's going to be pitch black, you cannot see the horizon. Actually I can see the horizon pretty good around here, so... Well, because of... Alright, we got a text from Auto ATC telling us to cross Gouda at and maintain flight level 70. That means we have to descend to 7,000. Alright, yeah, boss, we can do that. Go down to 7,000. Selecting traffic, TWA 366, descending 1.1, right? So we're gonna cross Gouda at 7,000, then we're gonna send to 2,600 feet. we got the VOR. Okay, we are approximately 160 miles from the area. Okay, we're about to leave Puerto Rican airspace, and then we're gonna fly across the ocean into San Martin. Okay, we're just descending out of 30,000 feet, and we've been in the air for about 2 hours, 2 hours and 4 minutes. I found a Concorde on the Batson radar. It's worldwide 9633 is a Concorde. His ground speed is 1,088 knots. Wow. He's going over, and his cruising altitude is 56,000 feet. That's very high. Yeah, so he's gonna go. He's flying from Ridley Adams to Atlanta, so in a normal plane that would be like a 6 or 5 hour flight, but in the Concorde you can get there in like an hour and a half, or you can get there in like 2 hours. He's actually gonna fly right next to me. He's on my right side, so let's see where that guy is. See where this guy is. He's gonna be much higher than me. Much higher. Okay, we just left Puerto Rico, so we're just gonna fly all the way to St. Martin. We got about like 17 minutes to land. Which waypoint is this? This is 1756 points. Seventeen's 56.0, so that's gonna be in 99 nautical miles. So we gotta descend a little faster. So, in modern planes, the beacon light, which is this red light, it's just a flashing light on modern planes, but on older planes like the 707, 727, it was a rotating light. So the altimeter at, so the barometric pressure at San Martin is 1010. We're going to set that there. Okay, we're landing in 15 minutes. Okay, we've got plenty of time. Descending out of 20,000 feet. Looking good. Alright, let's turn on the seatbelt signs. Oh, it makes cabin announcements. Huh. Okay, we got 68 nautical miles. Okay. Okay, we're gonna reduce to 250 knots. Okay, so this plane, it does not like to slow down while descending. So as you can see, we are slowing down pretty slow. So we're just gonna add a little speed brake. There you go, now we're slowing down. Okay, there's 250 knots. We're gonna retract the speed brakes. Okay, 15 nautical miles. We can slow down our descent. I'm gonna turn on the replay tool so we can see how the landing went. Whoa. What in the world was that? Okay, Saint Martin on the horizon. Yep, I see Saint Martin. Alright, we're just below 10,000. We are approaching 7,000 feet. Okay, we turned on the landing lights. We don't need auto brakes. I don't use the auto brakes that much because they're a little bit too strong. Put approach mode. Okay. Okay, we're landing in 10 minutes. Looking good. Okay. Okay, so I guess we descended a little too early, but we're just gonna maintain 7,000 for now. Okay, there's the airport right there. Okay, we're gonna intercept the PGM VOR. Okay, we're 40 miles from the airport. Alright, so we're gonna tune into the PJM VOR, which is basically our localizer to get aligned with runway 10. Okay, we're gonna reduce to 230 knots. Okay, since we're not descending, we're not gonna use the speed brake. Okay, we're turning towards the localizer with VOR. Maybe we're not turning that much. Okay, there you go. We're all aligned now. Okay, we're gonna descend to 2600. Okay, we're not gonna descend that fast. Okay, I see the runway right there. Okay, we're gonna descend. What is going on? We're gonna descend. We're gonna slow down to 210 knots.
MR traffic citation, International Zulu about 10 mile final. 10 knots.
Juliana traffic, TWA 366 says 20 miles out for runway 10. 20 miles out. Okay, we got a citation. We got a Cessna citation on our nose. I see him right there. Okay, there's our glide path. So we're gonna descend to 2,800 feet. 2,600 feet. Okay. Okay. Okay, we're gonna start slowing down more. Okay, we're gonna slow to 195 knots. Can I start bringing some flaps? Flaps too.
Yeah, traffic citation, actually, short final 10.
Sorry. Okay, so now we're not going to use the speed brake to slow down that much. And we're a little bit to the left of the runway, so we're going to make a turn.
1,000 to go.
Okay, so now I'm just gonna disconnect the autopilot and hand fly it down. Autopilot off. Okay, we're looking good. I'm now getting that black hole effect because you can't see anything, but I do have a good perspective of the horizon. Okay, gear down. Oops, 5. Oh, that's flaps 15. There you go. Okay, we're just gonna maintain altitude for now. Okay, we got 1 right and 3 reds, so that means we're a little bit low. Flaps 20. Okay, so right now we're just gonna maintain a 3-degree glide slope. So we're on the glide slope now. We're gonna maintain a 3-degree glide slope. Okay, got 140 knots. Flaps 25. And flips 30. TWA 366 on it's on a 5-mile final. Is the runway clear?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay, we're getting a little high. Okay, we're a little high. I'm gonna disconnect the auto throttle.
Approaching minimums.
Continue.
Minimums.
We're landing. Okay, we're recording the landing. Okay, it's a little windy. Got a little wind. Okay, we're a little bit to the side. Let's correct that. 300. Oh boy. Whoa. 200. 100.
7 out of 10.
Speed breaks up. Reverse normal. Say again?
I said 7 out of 10.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about Yeah, that sounds about right. Alright, so that landing was not as hard as the one we did last time. Why is there a plane at the end of the runway? I don't understand it. Okay, we're gonna turn around. Okay, so we're gonna stop the recording. Okay, we can go ahead and track the speed brakes. Yeah, sounds about right. And 9R X-Ray Zulu, was your landing good?
Couldn't be too bad. I didn't have anyone to judge it though.
Alrighty. Alright, this landing was decent. It was fine, but could have been better. There was a lot of wind, so. Okay, we're gonna. Okay, let's retract the flaps. Well, I've had worse landings. Well, that was a lot of wind. Like, damn. Alright, select. Okay, we'll go here. Go to get Alpha 2.
You like the 727?
Yeah, man, I love it. It's a good plane.
How's the avionics in it?
I got the base pack, so it's only steam gauges, and I'm only doing the pilot's job and the engineer's job. But I'm thinking of getting the expansion pack, which includes avionics.
Alright, I got you.
Alright, we're going to gate Alpha 2. Okay, Juliana traffic, TWA 366, taxiing to gate Alpha 2 via Charlie Alpha. What in the world? No. Okay, there you go. Turn off the wing lights. We'll go ahead and start taxiing. Oh god, I don't think I should make this turn. Well, no turning back now. I hope my wing doesn't hit that pole there. Ooh, barely touched it. Okay, we'll go ahead. Whoops. go ahead and start the APU. Okay, that landing, better than I expected. Much better than I expected. Where am I going? Ah, shoot. Missed it. Alright, we're just gonna make a reverse thrust.
Backing up with the reverse there.
Yep, I missed my gate.
Alright.
Alright, there you go. Which plane are you flying now?
So which one am I flying?
Yep.
Citation X. I just got the longitude in the X, and I've been flipping between the two.
Ah, is it good?
I like it. It's got Honeywell avionics in it, and the 10's got, I think, G5000.
Cool. Okay, turn the APU on. Alright, we'll go ahead, shut down engines 1, 2, and 3. Alright, we're gonna pull up the replay in a moment. Okay, let's check out that.
Have a good night, man.
You too.
Yeah.
Wrong angle.
You replaying your landing?
Yeah.
I watched you go to the gate and you zoom past me in the air right before I disconnected. what kind of fun?
Okay, 331 feet per minute, that's
Alright, now we'll see ya.
I'm trying to figure out how to change my camera.
Alright, guys.
Okay, there you go. Okay, wasn't the iconic low approach over the beach? Let's see. Oh, that actually wasn't that bad. That was actually a decent landing. Oh, no, don't tell me. Oh, come on. I hate this replay tool. God, I hate. No, I'm actually on. Great, now I'm actually on the runway. Alright, well, that didn't go as planned, but the landing was fine. Alright guys, thanks for flying with me.